Hey all, happy 4th of July weekend to those who celebrate, and apologize for the late weekend analysis, but as they say, better late than never. Let's get right into it. I know the last few have been a little long, so I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. As we look at the SPY, you can see we're in a bit of a channel. We lost the channel slightly last week, and now we're back in, but we're having trouble filling this gap up here. So very interested to see if we can close up this gap, and you can see we're in a bit of a volume shelf as well. So something we're keeping an eye on. Next up is the Qs. The Qs have been strong. We're over our volume shelf. We broke out of this ascending triangle. We're well on our way. We've got our volume pillows underneath. We've got our anchored VWAP confluence. Don't even need to worry about that. The Qs are good to go. Next up is IWM. IWM seems to be doing all right here. We're over our gap up and highest high anchored VWAPs. We're slightly over our volume shelf here. So I think, for the time being, IWM looks to be okay. Next up is the VIX, VXX. We were riding this down trend line. We did pop up 2 weeks ago, and we've been riding the top of that trend line. Now we're back underneath. Let's see how these anchored VWAPs, this year-to-date and lowest low anchored VWAPs act. Will they be support? Will we bounce up, and will volatility increase? Only time will tell. Next up is TLT. We did break out of our symmetrical triangle here, and we hit this 165.49 level, which I had marked off from a previous high over here. I think there's a trade here, but I think we have to wait for over 165.49. That's how I would play that. Next up is XBI. Biotechs have been pretty strong. This is the XBI is the biotech ETF. We had a flag formation. We had a breakout and a continuation with the retest. I'm looking for XBI to outperform. Next up is ARKK, not necessarily for a trade, but for a long-term investment. I do like ARKK. Ideally, I would like to see a pullback entry to the 20 simple moving averages, but you can see that we have been outperforming the market in general. Do love what Kathy Woods is doing over at ARK Investments, so I would keep an eye on ARKK, ARKG, and all the other ARK ETFs and funds that they have. Next up is ROKU. ROKU, we're really waiting for this 132.50 level to fall. But in the meantime, we are still in our triangle. We have been playing puts and calls on this almost every day. We know the levels. We play the levels. We're playing the game until we break out of 132.48. And then after that, we could see 140, 150, and beyond. Next up is GAN. I do like GAN here. We did take a breakout of the handle here to the cup. I sold the pop here up to $28. Got back in the next day, and I'm still holding now some long calls. You see where your stop loss is. You see where our target is. They are involved in the gaming industry. So as more and more states jump on the gambling, bandwagon, so to speak, to raise funds due to lost revenue from COVID, I could definitely see GAN outperforming the general market over the next few months. Next up is NVTA. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know NVTA was my pick for 2020. I got in here right before this big pop, got some calls. I wish I had gotten more. Sold into the $28 resistance, which I knew was going to provide us resistance. Didn't think it would push higher. It did up to $30. I did wound up buying back in on a breakout here over 30, and I'm in this for the short term right now. I am looking to start building a position in stocks, but I am playing this with calls right now. Potential target of $40 with that entry over 30.50, stop loss at 28.50. Let's go in VTE. Next up is APT. You guys know I've been playing APT on this breakout of descending triangle. I did sell into a little bit of the resistance here at 1881, and I started to build a position once we started hitting this anchored VWAP confluence down here. I'm bullish as long as we hold over here. We may consolidate for a little while, but if COVID starts to come back, here's some calls, some short and long calls that we can play. There's the entry, there's our targets, there's our stop loss. Let's go. Next up is Chegg. You guys know I've been playing Chegg as well. Chegg right now, what we're thinking potentially in the fall session, if COVID does come back, school will not be in session at the universities, but will be online. Chegg will be the main recipient of that. So I'm looking more longer calls out, possibly October, November. That's how I would play this on the breakout. CLDR, Cloudera, another stock that, right now, pulling back to the 20 simple moving average. For you guys who know me, you know I like to buy pullbacks to the 20. You can use a stop loss under 12. Let's call it 1150 to 1175, just to be on the safe side. But we're sitting on this volume shelf. We're sitting at the 20 simple moving average. We do like it over $12. I like the risk reward here. Up to you. Do your own due diligence. Space. We're waiting for space to fly. I mean, how many puns can I come up with space? There's so many, we have our launch pad. We're ready for space to fly. When we break out, we're going to go into outer space. I mean, I don't know. We can come up with puns all day. But the reality is I like this over the anchored VWAP that I have highlighted here. If we can get over this anchored VWAP, and you can see we've been tapping it. We had a false breakout here. We had another false breakout here. Eventually, one of these false breakouts is going to become a true breakout. And so I'd like to capture that. We can break out over $17. We can see $18.50. We can see $20. We can see 21 and beyond. Space literally can fly. I hate to keep using these puns, but I don't know how else to say it. Workhorse, WKHS. I think this is a good infrastructure play. Would I be buying it up here? Hell no. It's too far above my 20 simple moving average. We have volume shelves down here. We had a long consolidation. You know how I like to play. The longer the base, the higher the space. But we might have hit our top end of the space. I'd like for this to come down a little bit, maybe to this $12 to $14 range. I think that could be a good place to play it, and we move on from there. But anyway, I'm not buying it up here. But it is an infrastructure play. They do manufacture electrically powered delivery and utility vehicles. So if we get a really big infrastructure bill passed, they could be the recipient of some government funds, and that will propel us higher. Next up is Peloton. Happy to report I made enough money that the missus was satisfied, so we ordered our Peloton this evening. Why am I telling you this? Because my delivery is 6 to 8 weeks backlogged. 6 to 8 weeks backlogged. So guess what? Their next quarterly earnings is probably going to blow it out of the park. I don't know what much more to say to this. We've hit our $60 price target. I think we're well on our way to our $68 price target. If you didn't get in on this trade, I would wait for pullbacks to the 20 like I've always talked about. But past that, I really like this company moving forward. As we stay locked down, more and more people are going to do what I did. I like to exercise, but I like to go to the gym. I can't go to the gym because my gym is closed. So I bought a Peloton so I can exercise. So simple as that. Talk about Disney real quick. I shorted the mouse. I got some hate mail from Minnie and Mickey. They don't really like me right now. They asked me not to come back to their parks. I said, listen, no offense. I'm happy to go along with you, but right now you got to watch that 111.67 level. If you drop below that again, I think we're back down to this 100 to 105 level. So I think the trigger can be, delays in park openings, less than expected Disney Plus subscribers. However, I just reopened my subscription to Disney Plus because Hamilton came out. If you haven't seen Hamilton, you might as well just get Disney Plus for a month. For $6.99, watch the damn show. It's fantastic. I saw it on Broadway. Amazing. I can't wait to watch it again. But yeah, I think under 111.67, I'm shorting it down to this 105, 100 level. And last up is Spotify. Wow, Spotify. All I'm going to say is Joe Rogan here, Kim Kardashian here, XYZ there. Someone else is going to come. It's going to propel their stock to $300 and beyond. Who knows what the top is, but I think Spotify they're just doing amazing things. They're doing everything you need to do to continually to push the needle forward. So I'm looking for Spot to go to the moon here and possibly to Mars. So guys and girls, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I apologize for the late video once again. Look at that. We're keeping it under 10 minutes. Unbelievable. I'm going to keep trying to keep these under 10 minutes so I don't take up too much of your precious time. But thank you so much for being with me this evening. This is Danny Naz, a.k.a. The Pup. and we'll catch you in the markets tomorrow. Have a good evening and happy belated 4th of July.